everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Mario vs. Donkey Kong. This is a remake of the game with the same name from 2004, originally made for the Game Boy Advance. So in the context of it being a remake for the Switch, did Nintendo do it right? To start, let's go over the gameplay. The gameplay of Mario vs. Donkey Kong is very similar to the newer Super Mario Bros. Games. The big difference being that instead of longer levels, you are in a smaller level that is laid out as a puzzle. The goal, retrieve the key for the door to move forward and reach the Mario toy. Along the way, you'll also be able to grab wrapped gifts to 100% your level progress. But it won't be so easy. As stated, each level is a puzzle where you'll need to use Mario's platforming skills to jump, climb ladders, and more. There are many obstacles in your way, including colored blocks that can be switched on or off, alongside the enemies in each level as well. Each world has 8 levels, with 8 worlds in total, and at the end of each world, you will have a boss fight against Donkey Kong that will involve using your platforming skills. And good news for gamers, this remake has new levels that the original did not. But why are we fighting? The story has the answers. It starts off with Donkey Kong watching TV. He sees an ad for a Mario toy and rushes to go buy one. However, they are sold out by the time he gets there, so he decides to instead charge into the factory and steal them off the production line. As the Toads rush out in panic, Mario walks by and sees Donkey Kong leaving with a bag full of the toys and gives chase. Throughout the game, Mario is collecting the toys bit by bit as they are left behind by Donkey Kong. But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat? Alright, this being a remake of a Game Boy Advance game from 2004, and it being a remake on top of that from Nintendo, I'm real curious about what your thoughts are, Chris, the Mr. Nintendo hater, especially considering this game is not very long.
What, you want me to go off? You want me to go off right now? Are you sure you want to hand the baton to me?
I know you.
Are you positive, Henrik, to wreck? Because I'm ready to wreck havoc, man. It's like, yeah, we can get all excited about all these crispy graphics, updating a Game Boy Advance game, but like, there's nothing about the mechanics that feel contemporary about this. I mean, it has the same problem that we just witnessed with Super Mario RPG. You're reviving a game that's about, 3 decades old and passing it off as nostalgia with like zero money being thrown down to, turn it into something that's grand, something a bit different. Yeah, you might add, 2 new maps to the mix, but is it really, really worth the $50 smackaroos? I don't think so, Henrik. I'm just going to say it right off the bat. But go ahead. How do you feel about this? Are you really going to continue to go down this hole where we're going to continue to call this a remake, remaster, remake, whatever kind of vernacular you want to throw at this?
You got to hand it to Nintendo. On one hand, yes, their games that come out are pretty good quality. But I can't deny the fact that their games never go on sale. And this game is $50 and it's never going to go on sale.
And it's incredibly short.
Wow.
It's short.
Yeah, no, exactly.
We just literally have a game that people are still talking about, Helldivers 2, for $40, yet we got this game that's being bypassed as nostalgia and, crispy graphics, but yet this could have worked a lot better as a mobile game. And we're passing it off to the Nintendo Switch as if this should be celebrated.
Entirely. I don't know if I agree with the mobile game stance entirely too much, considering typically, maybe it might work for a mobile game, like a high-budget mobile game, but it feels like most likely, if it were going to be a mobile game, it would not be as polished as this. I'm just going to say it out right now.
Really?
Nintendo games, even on
a lot of mobile games, all you do is
console
just use the crispy graphics. Really, man? I know they added.
It's about the full package, of like adding more levels and adding the new abilities that Mario has compared to the original. I don't know. I feel like if anything, if they were going to make this a mobile game, it would be probably a little less content rich as this one.
Really, dude?
Which
because I really
there's not a whole lot to do as is.
I really want to speak to the Switch gamers out there. Did you ask for this? Did you really ask for this? Did you really want this? I mean, come on, man. It's been a very lackluster 2024 when it comes to Nintendo, and this is the best that we can offer. I just can't let this slide. And I know you might not think it would work for the mobile. Okay, fine. But what would make it work for the Switch is maybe adding a little bit more features. Like what happened to Level Maker, for example? What happened to
Hmm.
the online play? You want $50, but yet you're going to remove some of those amazing attributes that were around for some of the other Switch versions that are Super Mario esque. What the hell's going on?
No, I agree. I think honestly, in that sense, if you're thinking of this having those features, maybe this would have been a great DLC side content for, I don't know, Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
But if you arguing something along the lines of DLC, then why would we support this as being 50 smackaroos? Because I am paying
Oh, if it
$50
was
DLC
DLC,
for
it
this
wouldn't be
game.
$50. It would be
Eh,
like 20
but we don't want to give Nintendo
maximum.
any more ideas because I mean, as things go on, games are getting more and more expensive. But then again, we got a lot of other video games like I shouted out, Helldivers 2 getting a lot of the praise that it highly deserves. But I'm just it just irks me because all of last year we had the whole remastered remakes and all that kind of fun jazz. And I'm currently replaying again Final Fantasy VII remake, and someone that never grew up playing Final Fantasy VII and seeing what they did to re-immerse you into this insane storytelling and amazing world, that really feels redefining. This,
Yeah.
I can't. It's a definitive stamp it hard. It's a pause. You're gonna play it one time and then you're never gonna return back to this game. It belongs back on the Game Boy Advance where it should have remained.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say the same. It's a pause for me as well because I just don't feel like, unless you're really, really into this genre of game, I don't feel like you're gonna want to play it again. And
Yeah.
not to say that's a bad game, because I had fun, but for $50, it doesn't feel like the ratio of fun to how much money is spent is really a good ratio.
But even when they add the two new worlds, Merry Miniland and Slippery Summit, gosh, a tongue twister right there. Uh, that was a pain in the ass level. Anything that involves the ice worlds, get it out of here. And what do they do to add to the game? Add another ice world segment.
Hey, you
Golly!
gotta
Like,
add challenge somehow to this. You gotta think about it too. This game is marketed as an E for everyone title, so its player base could be a 3-year-old for all we know.
true. That's true. And as you can clearly see from the lower 30, there are over 130 levels in this puzzle style game. So if this is something for you, and if I'm saying something completely outlandish, by all means, let me know what's good. But myself, we can't let this, we cannot allow this to keep happening, even though Nintendo has a lot more plans to revitalize a lot of their old IP in the year 2024. So maybe they do better, but this one just doesn't hit the mark.